I made this video with the intention of showing why zero division cannot be done and clarifying any confusion around it. So as we know, zero division is typically a confusing problem, and many students simply assume that it cannot be done without actually seeing any proof of it. Moreover, we use circular reasoning with our calculators, in that if I go on my calculator right now and I type in 1 divided by 0, I get undefined. And while we're at it, what does the word undefined even mean? So after this video, we will hopefully be able to answer any of these doubts and see that we would literally break algebra if divided by 0 were true. So let's first assume that we could divide it by 0. Let's say I have the expression 1 divided by 0, and I want to know what this equals. So I'm going to set it equal to an unknown number x. Well, to get rid of this fraction, which would help me in solving the answer, I'm going to multiply by 0 on both sides, and this gives me the expression 0x equals 1. Now here's where the problem comes. Is there any number x that when multiplied by 0 gives us 1? So since we know the previous expression is equivalent to this multiplication problem, let's say that x equals 1. So I'll start off with 0 times 1 equals 1. So does 0 equal 1? Well, no, it doesn't, so x cannot be 1. So let's say x was 720. So 0 times 720 equals 1. Does 0 equal 1 again? No, it obviously does not. Let's say x is our imaginary unit I. So 0 times I equals 1. So I know 0 times I is 0. So does 0 equal 1 again? No, it does not. From this question, we can come to the generalization that no number which we called x will satisfy this equation. So will not satisfy the equation, and that is the basic reason why you cannot divide by 0. We often see the keyword undefined being thrown around in a calculator, even though we're not really sure what it means. So let's just start off with the basic reciprocal function, 1 divided by x. And I want to see what happens as x gets closer and closer to 0. Alright, so let's start off with 1 divided by 1. I know this is simply equal to 1. So let's get closer to 0. What if I have 1 divided by 0.01? I know this is equal to 100. What if I had 1 divided by 0.0001? I know this is equal to 10,000. So again, I'm getting closer to 0 each time. What if I had 1 divided by 0.000001? I know that this is equal to 1 million. So we can see in our function that as x approaches 0, we would get positive infinity, because this number, this expression, this output, is getting infinitely closer to infinity. What we just saw is the limit as x approaches 0 from the positive side. That is, we start with numbers that are positive and keep getting lower, of 1 over x, which is our function, equals infinity. So in other words, this output will get infinitely larger. Now I want to see what happens if I approach 0 from the negative side. That is, I start off with 1 divided by negative 1, and know that this is negative 1. So let me get closer to 0. Negative 0.01. I know this is negative 100. What if I had negative 0.0001? I know this is equal to negative 10,000. And we can quickly see that this number will eventually reach negative infinity. So we'll get really close to negative infinity, just never. However, we can always say that the limit as x approaches 0 from the negative side is equal to negative infinity. And notice how these two values are not equal. So if we were to graph this function, we can see that as x approaches 0 from the positive side, we are closer and closer and closer and closer to infinity. And we can see that as x approaches 0 from the negative side, in other words, from this negative side, we're closer and closer and closer and closer to negative infinity. And so we can see that as we do not agree with an answer to the problem 1 divided by 0, we simply leave the problem undefined. So next time you go on your calculator and you see undefined or error as an answer, just know that the calculator cannot agree on which output to give you.